Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about some friggin' books. And I'm a little off from my normal, what angle? Because I have a kitten. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you will have seen photos. She's adorable. She's technically my boyfriend's kitten, but you know, we're both taking care of her. Like, we live together, so. And she is sequestered in the living room, like in the area where I normally film. So like there's a bunch of stuff. It's like a makeshift like cage for her using luggage and other things like that. But let me show her to you. This is Gigi. Say hi. Say hello. She's like, what is this bright light? Hi, baby. She's like, that's really bright though. She's precious. She's like only like maybe 4 weeks old. Oh, baby. Oh, I'm sorry. I woke you up, huh? She's just a little nugget. Very sleepy right now. She just ate a lot. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put you back so you can go back to bed. No, no, no. Ow. She's got sharp ass little claws. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, I know. Come on. Hopefully she will just go back to sleep and not start screaming, because then I'll have to move her to the bathroom. So I'm talking about a series that I have decided to DNF, or in the past I just never wanted to continue, and there's quite a few, so I'm gonna try at least not to get too in depth with each one. So I'm gonna start with, there are some YA ones and then a few adult ones as well. I'm gonna start with the YA. There are more of those. This is in absolutely no particular order. It's just the order that they came to my brain. The Red Queen series, I don't know exactly what it's called. I think maybe just the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. That one I read the first book and I didn't really love it. There was a character, I didn't love the main character. I thought she was fucking stupid. And it annoyed me that she was supposed to be like street smart and savvy and whatever. And then she gets into this palace and one of the princes is very clearly up to something, very clearly full of shit, and she believes it. And I was like, okay. And then I think I did start reading the second book and DNF'd it. I know I at least started the second one. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, that whole series, I don't know what it's called either, but yeah, oh, no. Fucking hate Monty. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. It's only a duology, but I DNF'd the first book, so wasn't gonna read the second one. This one was kind of a huge bummer for me. The Legacy of Orisha series by Tomi Adeyemi. Children of Blood and Bone, I really liked. And then Children of Virtue and Vengeance, I pre-ordered and DNF'd at like 30% or something. Caraval, Stephanie Garber, I think is the author. I DNF'd Caraval. I really did not like that book. The tropes were just too cliched for me personally. Tropes aren't inherently bad, you know what I mean? But sometimes for me personally, I don't think they're done well. And other times I do, and it's a very subjective thing, I think. And yeah, in Caraval, I just didn't think that they were done well. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I read Red Rising, and I liked it. I was like, okay, cool. Like I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't think I remember loving it. If I did feel like I loved it, it was very short-lived. And then I picked up Golden Sun, and I just did not give any fucks. Like, I don't even know if I can consider that a DNF, because I barely read like a chapter and a half. I just decided, I don't care. I literally don't care about these characters. I don't care what happens. I didn't even Google the plot, which I will do often when I DNF books. Didn't even do that with this one. I just didn't give a fuck. Rebel of the Sands. I'm not sure what that series is called. I think the author is Alwyn Hamilton, I want to say. That was another one that just felt kind of, that one mostly, I think it just felt a little too juvenile for me personally. And the tropes, again, just I didn't personally think they were done all that great. The Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. I quite enjoyed Every Heart a Doorway. And then Down Among the Sticks and Bones, just really killed it for me. Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I loved The Wrath of the Dawn duology, and I pre-ordered Flame in the Mist thinking, like, I love this author's works, like, I'll love this one. Nope. DNF'd it. I did not care. The romance I thought was kind of garbage. And it was very disappointing after the other duology that I love. I don't know what this series is called either, but The Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Shut up. Oh my God.
What are you even barking at? Nobody walked by. Nothing happened.
This one, I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't love the book. It was fine. It was fine. It very much felt more juvenile. And these are all YA, you know what I mean? So sometimes YA I find feels like true YA for teenagers. Like some of it feels like true teen fiction. And then some of it feels more like, you know, more like young adults, like for college-aged kids maybe, you know? There's just a difference for me of tone in that regard, and so some of them feel a little bit more juvenile, a little bit more for teens, which is fine. They're young adult books. Like, they're allowed to be for teens. That's literally the target audience. But when they're more like that, it makes it harder for me to connect with it. I'm like fucking in my 30s. It makes sense, you know? And if they feel too juvenile, that's when I feel just like, yeah, I don't really care that much. It's not for me. Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. I always fuck up her name, and I'm so sorry. And I thought I got it right one time, and then someone corrected me in the comments. Anyway, yeah, I DNF'd it. I just don't care. Never gonna read that series. Three Dark Crowns. I can't remember the author's name of that. Oh, Kendar Blake. I liked Three Dark Crowns, but for some reason, I just don't care anymore about the series. And this is one that like maybe someday I'll pick up again, but I don't foresee that happening. The Great Library series by somebody, I don't know, I'll have it up. I'll have all these up obviously. But yeah, I read the first one. It's like Ink and Bone or some shit, and I thought I would love it. Like the premise sounded awesome, super cool. The Library of Alexandria and like whatever. And yeah, I can't even remember. I just remember feeling really like blah about it. Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. I have liked other books by Nnedi Okorafor, but that one just, I don't understand. I don't understand why half the things in the plot happened. It just felt super meandering. The Sixth World series by Rebecca Roanhorse. I felt very middle of the road about this one. No interest to see how the story plays out. This is another one where I didn't even feel like Googling what happens in the second book. I just don't really care. Sorcerer Royal series by Zen Cho. I read the first book pretty recently, and it was kind of cute. And there was one character that I really, really loved. But I read reviews saying that the second book doesn't follow that character in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know, I didn't love the writing and the plot structure enough to care to read the rest of it. The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder. It was cute. It was fine. I have just absolutely no interest in the rest of them. And now getting into some adult series. The Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang. I liked parts of the Poppy War, and then I really, really like severely disliked other parts of it. And the ending, I don't even remember what happened in the ending. I just remember being so fucking annoyed. This is, I don't know the actual name of the series, but it's like the Mistborn continuation trilogy. Isn't it like the Alloy of Law or some shit? Those ones, I don't care. I didn't really love Mistborn as a series. The Themis Files by Sylvain Neuel. Is that the name? I always forget what Sylvain Neuel. At any rate, fucking Sleeping Giants, and then I think Waking Gods. I read Sleeping Giants. I listened to it on audio. It's a really good audiobook. And it's another one where I liked it, but I just don't fucking care about the rest of the story. No interest whatsoever. No curiosity. Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. Makes sense. I mean, you guys, if you've been around for a minute, you know how I felt about that book. I don't fucking understand. It was marketed terribly. people who otherwise would not have been interested in it if they knew what it truly was, like myself, picked it up expecting it to be this one thing, and it was completely different. And it's not that it's a terrible book, it's just not what it was fucking marketed as, and I didn't like it. Saga, the graphic novel series, Brian K. Vaughan and I can't remember like the artist. Fuck, I suck at life. At any rate, I really loved Saga at first, like loved it. And then as it kind of went on, like shocking things were happening, characters dying that like obviously you were supposed to be super impacted by. I saw other people being like, this broke me, oh my god. And I just didn't feel really anything about it. And then the Wayfarers trilogy, I think, I'm not real sure, Becky Chambers, the fucking, oh my god, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, that one. I read that and I liked it, but I didn't love it. And again, just no curiosity. That's really what it boils down to for most of these. There's a couple where I kind of fucking hated the first book, and so I'm like, ugh, or the second book or whatever. But a lot of them are just books that they were fine, and I just had no curiosity for the rest of the series. I have no curiosity for what happens to the characters. I don't give a fuck. And I think I've just learned to kind of hone that feeling and to recognize it and not force myself to read series that I'm just very like, about. There's too many books to read to waste my time reading books where I know I really don't care that much. I'm not a completionist. I think we have determined that pretty well. All right, that is all. Hopefully this wasn't too terribly long. Like I said, I didn't want to talk too much about them because it just boils down to like, I don't give a fuck. If there are any that I talked about that you also don't fucking care about anymore and you've DNF'd the series, let me know. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.